Hello friends, welcome back to Astrology Today. My name is Mel Rose. Today is Wednesday, April 26, 2023. So the sun is in Taurus today, and when the sun is in Taurus, that's our outer lives. The sun, that's who you are in your work, social, and civic life, is going to tend to revolve around Taurus themes like establishing comfort and material security for ourselves. When we feel supported, when we feel like we have everything that we need in terms of the stuff and things, right? The roof over our head, the transportation we require, the sort of food we require, the monetary support that we need, then we're able to approach bigger and better things in our lives. And that's what we're focused on right now. On the moon side of the page, now the moon is more about your private life, how it feels to be you, and what comes up in terms of questions and understanding when you notice how things feel to you. And the moon is in Cancer. It starts off in Cancer tonight. It's going to move on into Leo late tonight. Moon in Leo is a time where you really want to show off how you feel about things, okay? And that includes, showing off, how you feel about the good work that you have done. And it also includes showing off or ritualizing or dramatizing, your celebration of other people and the work that they do to contribute to your life as well. So that's the waxing crescent moon in Leo, and it will be the first quarter moon in Leo tomorrow. We'll get to that in a minute. So today, starting at 4:09 p.m., the moon is square to Jupiter. Lunar aspects are about your personal life. It's about how it feels to be you and what comes up, again, in terms of questions and understanding when you feel a sensation or an emotion in your body, right? So moon square to Jupiter, this is a time, moon and Jupiter get along really well when we are really noticing how well things are going for us, okay? Anything that's growing or expanding or just becoming bigger and better in your life at this time is something you're really going to feel. And in that sense of feeling that sense of expansion, then we want to share with people we like and trust. We want to share, our physical goods. We want to share our just sense of emotional well-being. We want to share our good ideas. It's a great time to be doing that, right around 4 p.m. today. These aspects last a few hours. And the square aspect comes in there as a challenge, but a challenge is not meant to stop you. It's meant to remind you why you want to do what you want to do. So indulge that desire to share with other people, to be generous with your time and your resources. You can indulge that, but don't overcommit. Don't promise more than you can give or try to give more than you actually have. Then later on this evening at 6:41, the moon goes void, of course, with this trine here to Neptune, okay? And that trine aspect, trine vibrations make things really easy. I often refer to it as a blessing, but really sometimes it's like such a blessing that you barely have to think about it. Things just unfold really easily when it comes to the interaction between these two planets. So the moon is your body and your private life, how you feel, what you experience there, right? And Neptune, especially in Pisces, these are both in water signs, so it's going to be a really emotional vibe, very intuitive vibe, right? Neptune is there to is there to remind you of the vastness of possibility, okay? So Neptune in Pisces is really breaking down barriers, breaking down sort of cell walls and restrictions that don't really work for us, and allowing ideas, energies, and vibrations to mingle. In this case, in this trine, emotions and intuitions and bodily feelings to mingle so that we can maybe create something beautiful and new. Understand that with this trine vibration, we are more sensitive than usual, and we have a tendency to idealize people, places, and things. So, it should go really well. That trine vibration is a very positive vibration. So perhaps what you're idealizing at this time is something that you can draw in to you. And then we have a void of course today that lasts 7 hours. So that void of course is the time it takes between when the moon has that final aspect in the sign of Cancer before it moves on into Leo, right? Tonight it's 7 hours, and then at 1:30 a.m. the moon's going to move on into Leo. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. I'm going to show my loyalty and my love. I'm going to I'm going to give gifts. I'm going to be generous with myself and my loved ones. This is how we gain the appreciation we seek. And it's also, you know, a good time to show the appreciation that you have for other people. Okay. And then tomorrow, that waxing crescent moon becomes a first quarter moon in Leo. At what time does that happen? At 1:30? No, that happens at 4:20 in the afternoon. Is the culmination of that first quarter moon, but we'll celebrate it all day. This is the time when we shift gears. Okay, so between the new moon and tomorrow, we spend that time setting intentions, creating goals, making plans, really the intellectual pursuit of creating the things that we want for our lives, right? And then tomorrow, when we hit that first quarter moon, we get out of the intellectual pursuit and into the physical pursuit, the active pursuit of, you know, taking those plans and converting them into reality, right? Acting on those plans to complete them. Hopefully some of them in time for that full moon that's coming up on the 5th, you know, so that you have something to look back on and say, hey, I achieved this. I have something to celebrate. But if not, you know, get done what you can between tomorrow and the full moon, and you will always have something to look back on and appreciate. And then also tomorrow at 8:34 in the evening, Mars is going to culminate a square to Chiron. And I say culminate because these things, they sort of, they come within range of one another, and then they become really strong, and then they lose their strength, and then they go away. So we observe them here when they are at their full strength, which means we've been living with this vibe for a little bit. And now it is at its full strength for today and the next couple of days before that influence starts to wane again. So Mars square to Chiron, again, that square can bring up a challenge, or it's there not to stop you, but to remind you why you want to move forward. Mars gives you a lot of action and initiative and fire and drive. And Chiron is about, especially Chiron in Aries, is about healing from old social wounds, you know, wounds of exclusion, wounds of, you know, being different or being treated like you are different, or, you know, being excluded or being made fun of or put on the spot. A lot of that stuff is stuff that, you know, we encounter when we're younger, and it really shapes who we become as adults. And if we don't learn to let go of those old woundings, if we don't learn to heal from them, then we continue throughout our lives to respond as though people are going to treat us that way, even though they don't necessarily do so, right? As we grow and we mature and we learn how to, you know, A, be ourselves the way we want to be, and also B, fit in where we need to fit in. So, you know, this is a time when our anxieties can be activated, okay? Those anxieties you have about those old social wounds can really come up. Perhaps, you know, you meet somebody, or you talk to somebody, or you find yourself in a situation where you're just reminded of a way you were treated before, and that makes you feel very anxious, right? But also, because we've got Mars involved here, agency is engaged. And by agency, I mean, you know, agency is what you do when somebody is mistreating you, or you imagine some mistreatment might be about to happen, and so you act to avert it, or you act to stop it in its tracks, right? That's agency. So we have this strong agency, and this is, again, tomorrow through the 11th of May, to address any of those old social wounds, any of those anxieties that get activated around exclusion or being put on the spot. We can really take action either to address them directly with, you know, the person, place, or thing that is maybe activating that old anxiety, or at least to address them directly with ourselves by putting ourselves out of range, you know, of that potentially disastrous situation. Okay, so we can be very challenged at this time. You know, it is not necessarily easy to stand up for yourself. It's not necessarily easy to have the conversation or take the action that makes you, that puts you in a position of feeling better and feeling, you know, like you're more in control of things for yourself. You know, it's absolutely not very easy to do that, but this is a good time to stand up for yourself. It's a good time to take action, to protect yourself, or to defend yourself, but also to assert yourself and your right to be in, in situations where you've been invited to be there, or, you created this situation, just your right to exist, side by side with other people. Okay. So, today is Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday. On Friday, the 5th, not this Friday, but the next Friday, okay, we'll have that full moon in Scorpio. So that should be a very sort of intense full moon for us, a very deeply felt full moon for us, where a lot of stuff can get revealed sort of from our inner resources, or in terms of just things that we weren't aware of before. And then before that, on Saturday, the 29th, Mars is going to go sextile to Uranus. This is going to give us some, again, agency, some ability to take action in cooperation there with our sense of our desire to make changes, sort of improve our circumstances for ourselves. And then on the 1st, coming up on the next Monday, Pluto is turning retrograde. Pluto is retrograde for about 6 months out of the year, and it's going to start on the 1st of May this year. So we'll talk about that in an upcoming video. Okay, friends, that's all I have to say about it. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the notifications bell. It all helps me out a lot. I appreciate the heck out of all y'all, and I will see you all in the next video.